Dutewe ishema cyane no kuba mwabashije kubona umwanya wo kubana natwe muri Rwanda Convention 2025.
It's truly a pleasure to welcome you all to the first ever Rwandan Convention, whether you're here as part of the Rwandan community or a friend of Rwanda or someone simply curious to learn more. Today is about building connections that matter, conversations that move forward. So our theme, as you guys may all be familiar with, connect, engage, and belong, isn't just a tagline for today. We're going to try to act that out. So welcome all. And
kimwe nakongeraho hari product duherutse kulauncinga in partnership with Sanlam Insurance. Uyu ni CEO wa Sanlam, reka yitubwireho.
Ni ubwishingizi twafatanyije na Equity Bank, aho hari navuga ngo ni special saving account ituma iyo wayiguze uzigama ubu ufite n'ubwishingizi bw'ubuzima. Iyo uramutse ugize ibyago ukagira icyuba wowe n'umuryango wawe ukitaba Imana cyangwa ukagira n'ubumuga bwa burundu, uhabwa inshuro 3 z'ubwizigame bwawe wari umaze kugezaho. Ntabwo ari wowe gusa, ni wowe n'uwo mwashakanye, ni wowe n'abana bawe ndetse n'ababyeyi bawe kuba kibafite.
Please allow me to now welcome the president of the Rwandan community here in Dallas, Mr. Emmanuel Sebagabo.
Mu izina rya community y'Abanyarwanda batuye hano muri Dallas na Texas muri rusange, ndabakiriye murakaza neza. Nyakubahwa Minister, umushitsi wacu mukuru, nanone mu izina ry'abateguye iyi convention, mu izina ry'umuryango w'Abanyarwanda utuye hano muri Dallas, nongere mbashimire kandi nshimira nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika Paul Kagame wabohereje n'ubutumwa bwiza muza kutugezaho. Tufitiye inyota nyinshi cyane n'inzara, muzamuduhere intashyo, muzaduhere intashyo nyakubahwa, uti u Rwanda rurasakara hose rutanga urumuri kuri bose muri bose, kuko ari we tubikesha kandi turamukeje.
So next to that, we're going to welcome the president of the US RCAs, all of them in the North America. So President Yehoyada.
Good morning. Well, it's wonderful to see you here. And I'm honored to be here this morning to be part of this great, great event. Honorable ministers, Duhungirehe and Sejimana, the ambassadors, honorable ambassadors, and other dignitaries here, we welcome you to this great convention. We have 31 communities of Rwandans organized in about 22 states. Thank you. What that says to me is, out of the 50 states, we still have some work to do to get into those states and find where every Rwandan is. We need to have them affiliated to a community. You didn't hear me. So in other words, if there is, niba hari umunyarwanda muzi utuye mu yindi state itari yanyu, mukaba mutamwegera ngo mwiyegereze, I'll come after you. Today, you are here to hear for the first time, some of you, or many of you, we have a Rwandan diaspora homecoming. Okay, I don't, okay. August 6th through 9th, 2026, as Rwandans, we plan ahead. Now, you have no reason not to know, by the time you leave this place, that next year, 2026, August 6th through 9th, we are meeting in Kigali. And I want to thank the minister here, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and your staff. Thank you very much for supporting that initiative. I want to let you know, we are one of the most blessed countries where Rwandans live, and they have leadership that really, really cares. And this year, we had the opportunity, somebody will talk about it later, where we were able to help with the Sangire Lunch campaign. You'll hear more about it later. But the Sangire Lunch campaign was just to try and feed a child every school day in Rwanda. That is showing that you and I, if we put our heads and hands and hearts together, we can not only be Rwandan here, build this place here, but we can help build the country from thus far. I thank you all.
Mwakoze cyane. Nimunyemerere uyu mwanya ukurikiye twakire inshuti y'urubyiruko n'abakuru ntabwo yabasize. Taza kugira tubipfa. Ambassador wacu, Madame Mathilde, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Aramutse mwese. Masengesho yamvugiye ibyo nari kuvuga ubundi. Yeah, but Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Olivier Ngirehe, Honorable Minister of Education, Joseph Sengimana, Excellency colleague Ambassador Martin Ngoga, distinguished representative of Rwandan community abroad, distinguished panelists, dear friends of Rwanda and compatriots, all protocol observers, they say. Let me start by thanking our community, especially the leaders. So thank you so much. The Rwanda Convention is a very important moment for all of us. It's a time of unity, deepening our sense of purpose and responsibility to Rwanda, and renewing the bonds that connect all of us wherever we are. So this convention is not only about discussing ideas, it's also about fostering belonging, sharing knowledge, and inspiring action for our nation continued progress. So looking at today's program, we are excited for really the discussion that are lying ahead. Reflection on Rwanda's journey over the past 30 years and how far we have come together as a nation, whether we are in Rwanda or in diaspora. Exploring how to continue building a knowledge-based economy and society. Engaging in economic development and investment opportunities, highlighting pathways to accelerate our growth. Delve into health and well-being, ensuring that no Rwanda is left behind. And finally, and most importantly, reflecting on the importance of diaspora in advancing national unity and resilience. As we assemble here today, I would like to call upon all of you, especially the young people, to seize your historical responsibility. Continue the work of the giants on whose shoulders you are riding. Build upon their sacrifice, courage, and vision. We are strongly optimistic about the sustainability of what Rwanda has achieved. Most of the people driving Rwanda progress are young. They are our future, determined to avoid the deeply flawed politics that resulted in the devastation our nation went through 31 years ago. This younger generation has been raised in a governance system that is people-centered, where gender equity is and equality is the norm, and where security, public service, education, and economic opportunity are delivered to all Rwandans, with no one left behind. Because your presence here reaffirms the spirit of unity that continues to define us as a people. Thank you so much.
For our sponsors, so I&M Bank.
Jewe uhagaze hano nitwa Yves Kayihura, ndi umwe mu bakozi ba I&M. wishimiye kuba hano. I&M Bank nimubibone presentation itangira, inyikirizo yacu ni karame. Karame ni umuco nyarwanda, ni uburyo witaba umuntu wubashye. Ni ukuvuga ngo umuntu wubashye yaguhamagara amubwira uti karame. Mbere yuko dutekereza karame rero cyangwa dutangira kujya twikiriza ngo karame, twaratekereje ngo ni iki twaha abantu twubaha baduhamagaye. Turicara turabanza dushyira ku murongo icyo dushobora guha community ya diaspora mu nyikirizo ya karame. Ntituzaze tubabwira karame gusa. Ikintu cya mbere rero muri bubone muri presentation yacu ni uburyo dufite partnership n'ibigo mu Rwanda n'abantu bubaka amazu n'abantu badevelopa ama real estate mu Rwanda, tukababera ijisho, tukabereka aho mushobora kubona ibikorwa by'amazu mu bikeneye. Abo cyo ni igihe mukeneye investment mu Rwanda. Turatekereza ngo ni iki wakorera iwanyu, hantu umutima wawe uri ni iki, icyo wifuza kuhagira. Urifuza kuhagira umutungo wawe kandi ukahagira umutungo utekanye umeze neza, ku buryo ushobora guhitamo iyawe, I&M ikaguha amafaranga ugatangira kugira iwawe mu Rwanda. Ibyo bikaba inzira imwe ya yindi masengesho yatubwiye ngo iwanyu barabakumbuye muze dutahe. Bikaba inzira imwe yo kuvuga ngo mfite iwacu ha kabiri cyangwa se ha gatatu bitewe n'aho mba, igihe ngiye mu Rwanda mbe wanjye. Murumva atari igitekerezo cyiza? Muze kutwegera, dutekereza iyindi partenariat n'ibigo bimwe biri international ku buryo dushobora gufasha abantu bafite imishinga. Urifuza gutangira business mu Rwanda, ufite business usanzwe ukora, ufite projet yari inzozi yo gukorera mu Rwanda, dushobora gutangirana urwo rugendo tukaguha amafaranga yo gukora iyo business kandi ku giciro gitoya.
Iyi pano iraza kuba iyobowe na Jocelyn Kabageni, tumusaba ko yatambuka kuri stage. Hanyuma iraza kuba ivuga kuri reaffirming Rwanda values, staying connected to deliver the future we want. Thank you.
And Seth, good morning, yo, mwaramutse. It's both an honor and a pleasure to be leading this panel today, and I hope we are all in the mood of learning and also getting the information together. So as Seth mentioned, the topic for this panel today will be reaffirming Rwandan values, staying connected to deliver the future that we want. So this discussion will reflect on Rwanda's journey of rebuilding and also the core values that should unite and define Rwandans both home and abroad. So let's straightly dive into it, and it's my honor to welcome it's my honor to welcome the Minister of Minafet, Honorable Olivier Jean-Patrick Nduhungirehe. You're welcome on stage, sir. Second on stage, we're going to be with Mr. Philbert Haragirimana. Mr. Philbert Haragirimana, please come on stage as well. Stage, we're going to welcome Mrs. Shiba Rujeje. Welcome her as she also comes on stage. We also have Mrs. Philippa Chibugu. Mrs. Philippa Chibugu, you're also welcome on stage. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Nagira ngo ntangire mbashimira kuba mwarateguye iyi Rwanda Convention hano muri uyu mujyi wa Dallas. Nshimire community ya hano ya Dallas Fort Worth na US RCA ndetse na our embassy in Washington ndetse na permanent mission yacu New York, kuko nayo buriya harimo abagize uruhare mu gutegura uyu munsi. Rero nagira ngo mbashimire n'ibiganiro byiza tuza kugira bigana mu kwibuka urugendo rw'imyaka 31 ishize ya umunsi ejo twizihije kwibohora ku nshuro 31, ariko tukaba tunareba ibihe bizaza. Niyo mpamvu turi hano ngo tuganire n'urubyiruko, tuganire na diaspora kugira ngo turebe ko twakomeza guteza imbere igihugu cyacu. Thank you very much.
Murakoze. Philbert, namwe mwafata ijambo kugira ngo musuhuze abantu hanyuma dutangire.
Muraho neza. Nkuko bababwiye, amazina yanjye ni Philbert Haragirimana. nkaba ngewe tuza gusangira ibyerekeranye na bizinesi nkora hano muri Amerika. Mfite bizinesi ikora amataxi, nkagira na bizinesi icuruza imodoka. Ubwo rero turaza gusangira uburyo umuntu yatangira bizinesi hano, kandi izo bizinesi dukora zikaba zagirira n'akamaro aho dukomoka. Imana ibahe umugisha.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you to the leadership of the DFW community. As a Rwandan member of the diaspora, it's so great when you can work together with leaders who are committed to speaking truth about Rwanda. And so I'm honored to be here. I came here as a young child at 2 years old. To be on the leadership of the Rwandan diaspora means that even our children can take ownership as young Rwandans. And so really excited to have the conversation and to continue to advocate for our country, both at home and abroad.
Thank you.
Ngaramtseho. This is the most important point in my life, to be among Rwandans and Rwandans' friends and giving a message that is different from any messages that has been given here. It's a message about life and health. And before I even begin, I want to teach you 3 words. And once you think about those 3 words as we go through this, then you will be able to follow my presentation or my thoughts about why am I here, why are you here, and what are you doing to make Rwanda great? Because without health, we cannot be here. And health is your wealth. What are you doing with your health? So the 3 words, when I say them, please repeat after me. Ikunde. That means love yourself, those of you who can't speak English, Kinyarwanda. Imenye. Isuzumishe. Let's repeat it again. Ikunde, all of us together. Ikunde, imenye, isuzumishe. Kubera iki? Kwisuzumisha kare niko kwirinda nyabyo. Can you repeat that? Kwisuzumisha kare niko kwirinda nyabyo. So I'm going to be sharing my lived experience with surviving breast cancer. And I had breast cancer in 1994 when Rwanda was going through genocide. So every time we celebrate Rwanda's coming out, I am celebrating a year. So it is so symbolic that I'm here.
Friday on 27th June was the day for the signing of his historic agreement, peace agreement between Rwanda and the DRC. And we are cautiously optimistic, meaning that we are both optimistic, but there is also a bit of caution, and I will try to explain. We are optimistic because it's a comprehensive agreement which has 3 main parts. Actually, His Excellency the President talked about that yesterday in his press conference. There is the political, the security aspect, the economic aspect, and the political aspect. All those are taken care of in this agreement. There is another aspect, a 4th aspect, which is more a consequence, a positive consequence of this agreement, is the humanitarian aspect. But if we take those 3 main aspects, the security aspects. Actually, it's the agreement, the peace agreement has this security concern of Rwanda at the center of the text, because we have decided to together to ensure that this movement, this FDLR, genocidal force, is neutralized once and for all, which will allow Rwanda to lift its defensive measures. So this is at the center of the agreement, and we hope that if we achieve this goal, we will greatly contribute to peace in the region. So this is the security aspect. The second aspect is the economic aspect, which is also important, and we decided to make joint investment between Rwanda and DRC with the support of the US and US companies, because this region of the Great Lakes is one of the richest in Africa, and we have decided to manage jointly the common national parks, the Virunga and the Volcanoes National Parks, natural resources in Lake Kivu. We have the methane gas, as you know, hydropower on our border, the Rusizi 3 power plant, and also the end-to-end mineral value chain, meaning from the mine to the finished product that, as you know, that is used in electronics. So this kind of positive collaboration between DRC and Rwanda would be a good incentive for permanent peace in our region, and also for prosperity of our populations and the growth of our economies. The third part, the third aspect is the political aspect. And here, it's mainly about dialogue between the government of DRC and the movement of AFC-M23. Because as we have always been saying, this question of the M23 cannot be solved without a genuine dialogue that addresses the root causes of the conflict. And the root causes, we know the root causes of the conflict, this persecution, marginalization of the Rwandan, the Congolese community of Rwandan culture and Rwandan language, mainly the Congolese Tutsi, who have been persecuted since a long time by successive governments in the DRC. So now we hope that the ongoing talks that are taking place in Doha will be able to solve this, this situation, and we agreed in Washington to support this process. But beyond the negotiations between the FCM23 and the government, there is also the political dialogue within the DRC that will have to be carried out, but this, of course, doesn't concern Rwanda directly. And so we are optimistic because those three aspects are taken care of. But we are cautiously optimistic because we have an experience with the DRC of signing agreements without implementing them. And if we take only since the end of the Second Great War of the DRC, 1999, there was a ceasefire in Lusaka. Since 1999, there is not less than 10 agreements that were signed, but none of them was implemented by DRC. And even the movement that we are talking about, the M23, its name comes from a date of an agreement that was not implemented, the agreement of 23rd March 2009 in Goma. So we know that the DRC has not implemented previous agreements. And we know also, as we were negotiating in Washington and even in Rwanda, that there was still militarization on the ground with new weapons, with new attack drones, with the new armored vehicles, and new mercenaries. You know that we have new mercenaries on the ground now. You all remember the Romanian mercenaries that were evacuated through Kigali. Now they are Colombian mercenaries that were hired by an American company, Blackwater. So this is something that we should keep on following, but in any case, Rwanda will do its part of the deal, and we hope that the DRC will also follow through its commitment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister. Just trying to follow up from what you just said, as you mentioned, there has been prior agreements that didn't come to pass, and as it just recently happened, we, as people who were not there, we just want to know, is there something that was done different this time that wasn't done prior, so that, yes, you said you're cautiously waiting for or hoping for better results, but is there something that was done differently this time so that people may hope that maybe with exactly the efforts of Rwanda and also the efforts of Congo, if he wants to put in the efforts, that maybe this deal this time is going to pass through?
You will remember last year we were engaged with the DRC in the Rwanda process under the mediation of President of Angola, João Lourenço. The concept of operations that was included in the Washington agreement comes from this Rwanda process. We had agreed on that. The expert had agreed on that on 31st of October last year, and the ministers had approved it on 25th of November. This we had agreed on, but that Rwanda process collapsed in December because of one issue, a commitment by the DRC to engage into dialogue with the M23. Now, fortunately, the DRC government has evolved. They now accepted to talk to the M23, and we have now the negotiations that are taking place in Doha, Qatar, under the mediation of Qatar. So now we are in a different setting where the issue of the M23 will be addressed. But as I said also, is that there is this economic aspect that was not in previous discussions, previous agreements. Actually, His Excellency the President said yesterday in his press conference that many people, including in Europe, including even here in the US, are criticizing the agreement, criticizing the Trump administration, but because they say that they have interest in the region, economic interest. So what? So having interest in a region, it's not a problem, provided that they are interested in helping Rwanda and DRC in achieving peace, achieving stability. We don't have any issue with that. So if we achieve peace, we achieve stability, and then we achieve also regional prosperity with a joint investment, joint venture between DRC and Rwanda, with the support of the US government and support of the US companies, that will be something important for the region.
Thank you so much.
Since January, with the fall of Goma, Bukavu, and other cities and towns in North and South Kivu, there was a lot of pressure in the media, with the governments. You heard about sanctions that were taken against Rwanda, and there were also misinformation, especially from Congo, in media, social media, portraying the conflict as a mineral conflict without describing the conflict as is. And this is, of course, a time when we need the diaspora to be, we always say that the diaspora is, members of the diaspora, citizens, ambassadors of Rwanda. We know that as a government and embassies, we cannot get everywhere. I think it is important for the member of the diaspora, first to understand this crisis, because it can seem complicated, but to understand this crisis, and also to talk to our embassies, the embassy in Washington, but also our permanent mission in New York and others in other countries to understand the crisis, and also the RCAs that can get information, and then we can talk or defend the position of the government in our communities, where we work, where we live, and it's really important because the amount of misinformation from everywhere, from Congo, from Europe, US, was really intense, and we are here as government to provide whatever information you will need. This is why I'm here, and we can continue providing that information to help the diaspora, also working with the government, defending our position, because our position is the position that will bring sustainable peace in our region. We need to solve the security concerns of Rwanda, mainly from the FDLR, but also to solve once and for all this situation of the Congolese Tutsi and the Congolese Rwandophone who are persecuted on a daily basis, and then Rwanda is blamed for that. Rwanda is blamed for supporting the M23. So this situation also will have to be resolved once and for all, and we hope that the community and the diaspora will help us in that regard.
To ask a question. I am not from Rwanda, but I feel a sense of belonging here. So my question today is, everything that has been said, it's really inspiring. As a young African, I'm from Botswana. How can I be part of what is happening and all the initiatives that you all are doing, and even changing the face of Africa, and even the vision that Rwanda has? How can we involve other African countries so that we can bring and make Africa great?
Nkatwe uko tubireba harimo imbogamizi mu gihe abantu bakoze genocide babaye integre mu ngabo za Congo. Ese ni ke cyizere nkatwe abanyarwanda twagira mu gihe bamwe bahinduye amazina bagahindura n'ururimi bavuga, mu by'ukuri tubona hari imbogamizi.
Nibyo turabizi, hari hagaragaye ubushake buke bwa guverinoma ya Congo kugira ngo babaneutralize, kubera ko byanagaragaye ko usibye no kubashyigikira ahubwo babinjije mu ngabo, basigaye bari mu ngabo, ndetse mwanabonye ejo bundi hashize ngira ngo kwezi cyangwa amezi abiri aho umwe mu general wa FDLR Ezekiel Gakwerere yoherejwe mu Rwanda n'abasirikare, kandi yari amaze imyaka 30 irenga hariya akorana n'ingabo za Congo. Ariko ayo makuru yose natwe tuba tuyafite, yabo ba FDLR aho bari n'amayunite barimo, ku buryo kuba barinjizwe mu ngabo ntabwo bashobora kwigira nyoni nyinshi bati abo bantu muvuga ntabwo tuzi aho bari. Usibye no kwinjizwa mu ngabo, binjijwe ahubwo no muri Wazalendo, naho barimo muri aba aya mamilise ya Wazalendo. Uko byagenda kose twasinye amasezerano mu Cyongereza ni neutralization of FDLR. Ariko tuvuga neutralization of FDLR nta nubwo ari no guhita umuntu akoresha ingufu, ni ukubanza gusansibiliza abifuza gutaha nk'uko benshi batashye, kuko kuva 94 benshi baratashye banyura muri ya centre ya Mutobo basubizwa mu buzima busanzwe, abahamwa abagize icyo bakora bafite responsabilité muri genocide bakaburanishwa, ariko abandi batagize uruhare cyane cyane aba batoya bahavutse nyuma ya genocide binjijwe muri FDLR, abo ngabo bakajya mu buzima busanzwe. Ibyo ngibyo twabiganiriye n'abahuza nabo barabizi. Ni ukuzareba rero yuko guverinoma ya Congo ifite ubushake bwo ku neutraliza aba FDLR, ariko aya masezerano azashyirwa mu bikorwa rwose ejo bundi bizahita bigaragara niba babufite cyangwa batabufite.
Recently, the Wall Street Journal reported that American AI-driven mining exploration firm backed by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos is highly invested.
I'm sorry, maybe it's because, can you please slow down for us to be able to get the question?
Sure, I got you.
Thank you.
All right, so the Wall Street Journal recently reported that an American AI-driven company, mining exploration firm backed by Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, is highly invested in the peace treaty. Also, one more is Nathan Trotter, Trinity Metals, signed a letter of intent. My question really goes to the financial part of, the economic part of the treaty, which is how does that really benefit the youth? So these U.S. companies are coming to Rwanda for processing. How much more of how much of the profit could we share, and how does that grow over time? But more importantly, these infrastructures they're bringing to Rwanda for processing these minerals, how do they employ youth? One. Two, how do we make sure it's a fair partnership?
The Washington Peace Agreement, there is indeed a chapter on regional economic integration framework, which will deal with the economic aspect of this agreement. So there are different parts of under this chapter. There is a bilateral integration. Those are those projects that I was talking about, the joint investment between Rwanda and DRC. There is also the regional integration. We have discussed on how to integrate our efforts into the existing regional economic communities, especially the East African community, the CEPGL, the ICGL, all those communities. And we mentioned that we'll do that in partnership with the US government and US companies. This is a rich region, the Great Lakes region of Africa. There are plenty of minerals. You know that there's this narrative that we don't have minerals, but there are plenty of minerals on both sides of the border. And now, with a different approach of working together on a value chain is important, because that will bring that transparency and formalization of this sector, which had a negative, I would say, negative impression or negative narrative in the media, but yet this is an important sector for our economies. But the fact that we will sign agreements with the United States doesn't mean that it will be exclusive for any country. We are a country that is partnering with many countries, many companies of different countries that are allowed to come to invest in our country. So there are infrastructures that are being discussed as we speak, like the Rusizi 3 project. It's a hydropower project. The United States is involved. The European Union is involved. Even the United Kingdom. So this kind of infrastructure that are important. But there is something that is equally important that we will have to address. Because for any investment in this region, we need to be sure that the governance follows. There is a problem, still a problem of infrastructure, of lack of governance in Eastern DRC and in Congo, as a matter of fact. So, with the political dialogue that I was talking about, these issues of governance, fight against corruption, so that we can focus on building critical infrastructures that could help the economic aspect of this agreement, this should be addressed. Otherwise, we can sign any agreement that we want. If we don't fix the fundamentals of governance, especially in Congo, in Eastern DRC, we won't reach anywhere. Actually, this agreement, this economic agreement, is yet to be signed, because we mention it in the Washington Peace Agreement, but there will be discussions are still going on between all parties, DRC, Rwanda, and the US. And we believe that in coming weeks, this agreement will be ready and to be signed at the White House.
nyuma dusabe umwe mu baterankunga wacu Bank of Kigali nawe atugezeho serivisi adufitiye.
Turabasuhuje from Bank of Kigali. Amazina yanjye nitwa Rumanyika Desire. I'm the Chief Digital and Retail at Bank of Kigali. Kubabwira ko mu mafaranga yose beka ikoresha 10% of our liquidity is coming from diaspora. And more than 50% is coming from North America. So we have much. Icyo ni icyambere. Icya kabiri, turumva bidahagije. We can do more. I remember when we met diaspora in Ottawa 2 years ago. I think it was the youth convention that took place in Ottawa 2 years ago. There was that complaint that if we ask diaspora to deposit money in francs to convert their money into francs, they are facing the FX risk. So we've addressed this. Today, we are launching a new product for you, designed, conceived for diaspora only, called BK Capital USD Fixed Income Fund. Today, you are able to invest in USD, and you earn interest in USD. There's no need to convert your money and be facing that FX risk. And as we speak today, you can earn between 5 and 6%. It's simple. To access this message that we have today from BK, mostly is really to thank you for your support, for your partnership. We continue to participate in different events that you organize, and we'll be happy to be partners as well in terms of growing our economy. Thank you so much.
Michelle Umurungi from RDB. Welcome, please. Mr. Michael Fairbanks. Yes, welcome, sir. The next panelist is going to be Ms. Louise Kanyonga from RSSB. Mr. Namara Hannington from Equity Bank Rwanda, please, welcome. And last but not least, best for last, we take Mr. Francois Tuishime from Yego Coffee, welcome here.
Know that we want to become an upper middle income country. We want to be a knowledge-based economy. And for us to be able to do that, we need to diversify the sectors that currently contribute to our economic growth. One of them is agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of our economy. About 70% are employed in this sector. However, it's still very, I think it needs to be modernized. We know it needs to be modernized. And so the opportunities that you will find in the agriculture sector currently are enormous. I'll talk about agro-processing. Today we have about 1.4 million hectares of arable land, yet our productivity in terms of yield is 40%. So we need, there's a gap there. How do we do that? How can we breach that gap through investments? That means that there's opportunity in processing, just the normal crops that we have, pineapples, turn them into juices. We know that there's juice bars here. People are becoming conscious about health and wellness. And all these products can easily be grown at home. So how do we add value to our crops? And that's a huge opportunity right there. I think I'll be asking for a brokerage fee here after, with all the business ideas I'll be sharing. But so you have agro-processing, which is a huge industry that's growing, where you have opportunities to grow, to turn some of our crops into viable businesses in terms of goods and foods. And maybe to also give you another reason why this is an important industry. Currently, when you look at what we import, I encourage you to look at the data. That tells you what can be made and produced at home. And agriculture is right there for you in terms of food, for food processing opportunities. There's also, in terms of export, right? People tend to think that it's a small economy, it's a small, that's not viable for business. But that's not, you don't have to limit yourself to the domestic market. It's also open for exports. For example, chili. A couple of months ago, we were in China, where we saw that our chili is very much loved in China. There's, so opportunity in horticulture in terms of exports. That's homegrown for you to be able to export in other markets like the European Union, but also China. I know that agriculture is not a sexy, if you will, sector for the youth, but it is what feeds us, right? When we talk about wellness, it is what majority of us consume on a day-to-day basis. So when we think about that extra value addition or that processing part that's currently missing in the market, it's a huge opportunity that I would encourage you all to tap into. There's also real estate as a sector. Today, as we urbanize, as we grow, there is about 30,000 unit gap in Kigali alone, where you're starting to see the middle class grow, which means that there's more demand for affordable housing, but also in terms of mixed complex use, especially in grade A offices. There's also demand there. I think you'll see a lot of real estate or developers, companies that are here exhibiting. I encourage you to speak with them, talk to them. They're on the ground, and they'll tell you a bit more about the intricacies of that sector, but that's another interesting sector to look at. There's also the healthcare sector. Today, we talked a lot about health today, and so I want to emphasize health again, not only as a public sector, but also as a sector that has opportunity for private ventures. When we talk about cancer, right, we do not currently have any diagnostic centers in the country. So there is an opportunity. For many of you here, I think there are health practitioners or health professionals in the room. That's a low-hanging fruit. We know that we pay a lot of money to get our loved ones outside of the country. But that tells you that there's the capacity to have that. If we were to have that at home, for people to pay for those services. I think oftentimes the challenge or the perceived challenge is that these are not viable ventures. But if we're willing to go outside of the country and the continent to pay for those services, that means that should there be available at home, there's huge demand and viable opportunity behind it. But that's not just in the diagnostic center world, but also when it comes to private health, private clinics. We're starting to see, as our middle class grows, we're starting to see demand outside of public hospitals or public services, and a bit more customized and specialized healthcare. And so there lies another opportunity for the health practitioners. In terms of manufacturing, within the pharmaceuticals or the healthcare sector, there's also opportunities there. Today we have BioNTech, which is a strategic partnership between Rwanda and BioNTech as an anchor investor. What that signals, however, is that you will need ancillary services around BioNTech. And that means growing their supply chain. Over time, there will be a need for them to start sourcing locally. And so I would encourage, again, health professionals or practitioners in the room today to come and really look around and assess where the opportunity might be specifically. But this is just to give you a general overview of where we see the opportunities coming from.
Awesome.
So I spoke about maybe three, maybe last one, I would say tourism. Okay. Tourism is another contributor to our GDP currently. And so there's a lack currently of entertainment or sufficient entertainment for our visitors. So there is another area where you can think of businesses that could cater to that segment, to that market. But there's also tourism in business, in affairs, MICE, what is called MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Today we are number 2 on the continent in terms of MICE after South Africa. That means, thank you. That means that we get a lot of conferences or retreats, businesses, people coming into the country for these conferences. And oftentimes they'll need accommodation, they'll need entertainment after those days of meetings and work. They'll need food, and so those are services around the MICE sector that also have ample opportunities. But in terms of technical services for MICE as well, if you're able to provide, let's say, specialized venues or specialized equipment to have hybrid meetings, that's also an opportunity in that sector. So there's a lot of opportunities we can get into.
Wow. Yes,
I'll
thank
stop
you.
there
For sure, thank you.
The aspirations of returning to the motherland. And that's something that most countries don't have. And that's why we're here today, too, to continue that kind of process. So the outlook for Rwanda is outstanding. You embrace competition. Your rules are clear. You pay your taxes better than most people in Africa and around the world. You have a shared vision. You're optimistic about the future. And that's why your value-creating chains, your value chains, are succeeding at a very high rate. So thank you.
Rwanda is one of the only countries that has been able to achieve universal health coverage. You have about, I think that deserves an applause. You have over 11 million Rwandans. That's, close to 90% of Rwandans that have access to quality health care. That's a scheme that is managed by RSSB called Mutuelle, which I'm sure you've all heard of. Now, Philippa mentioned that Mutuelle is now able to cover cancer care. I think Michelle talked about how much money we're spending as a country to send people for treatment abroad. With Mutuelle, we are now going to be able to cover more more healthcare in Rwanda. For example, kidney transplants, which is something that we've seen an increasing incidence of NCDs. We're now going to be able to cover that in Rwanda through Mutuelle. And you might think, this is in a country that is still quite developing, and so people don't have a lot of resources. That healthcare that I'm talking about costs Rwandans who are protected less than $3 a year per person, right? And I think that's really still tells the story of what it means to do very much with very little. And that's really the story of Rwanda. So that's one of the critical mandates that we have. And the second is around investment, to Herbert's question. RSSB is Rwanda's largest institutional investor. We manage assets of about $2.5 billion across all the different asset classes. You should clap, because for most of you, especially those from Rwanda, this is your money. This is coming from the contributions that you make. So RSSB is truly owned by each and every Rwandan. So we're able to deploy those resources towards almost every critical sector that Michelle spoke about, because we invest towards the transformation of the country. So we invest in alignment with what the national vision is. And so if you look at the areas that we've invested in, it's across everything. From financial sector, we contribute significantly to the liquidity of the financial institutions. Huntington can attest to that. Yes, and we're shareholders in several financial institutions. But what that does is that it allows for capital to be deployed through RSSB resources via the banks into the domestic private sector. We're invested in technology, innovation. I saw Zipline here. We're one of the early investors in Zipline. We're invested in innovation. Mike and Akajira Medicines are RSSB owned, Rwandan owned. This is my boss. We've invested in manufacturing, value addition, through Inyanje, Liba, CVL, all these critical investments. We've invested in hospitality. So where Michelle says invest, that's where we go, right? We've invested in the hospitality space. You might not know this, but RSSB is invested in the convention center. We have an exciting new Kigali golf club that is, rivals some of the best golf clubs in the region and in the world. We've invested in, Epic, Kajira, so across really the hotel and hospitality value chain. Now, when it comes to specific opportunities that we see, really significant opportunities for the diaspora to engage in, and really any partner for Rwanda, I'll mention just a few. One is around Ejo Heza. Ejo Heza is born out of a challenge that most low-income or developing countries face, which is that because it's, most of these countries are highly informal, you have a very small formal sector. And so you've got only 10% or less of your of your economy that is going to be covered by any type of formal social protection. Ejo Heza steps in to cover the 90%. And it doesn't just, it's not just, cover, but it is extremely attractive cover. So anyone in the diaspora, if you want to add on to your existing pension plans, or if you want to make sure that you're securing the long-term financial future of your loved ones, your families back home, I really encourage you to learn more about Ejo Heza. It provides you with up to 10-11% returns in the Rwandan franc, compounded annually. So it's an extremely attractive opportunity for you to save and see your savings grow over time. And we've got a desk outside here. Please visit and learn more about what you can do with Ejo Heza. It's my most favorite and exciting product that we offer as RSSB. The second is obviously in real estate, where, as I said, mostly known for real estate, and that's because we're also Rwanda's largest real estate developer. We've got Vision City 2 coming in. I think many of you know about Vision City 1. Vision City 2 is going to be 3 times as big. So we're scaling from 500 units, residential units that you have in Vision City 1 to close to 1,500. And we're starting the second section in September. If any of you are going to be in Kigali for the summer holidays, please come by and see the model units. We've got them up, ready for viewing. We've got villas, we've got apartments, we've got all, townhouses, all types of typologies. And this is really an attractive opportunity if you want to make it home or if you want to look at it as an investment opportunity. We've also got within a different segment of real estate another exciting opportunity that is coming online soon, which is Heza. Heza Estate is a middle-income community. It's got about 500 units, and it's a combination of apartments, row houses. Please check it out at the stand. It's a really exciting opportunity. Pricing is very competitive and attractive, starting from about $70,000. So look into that. I think that will be an exciting opportunity. The third, which we're extremely proud of at RSSB to be delivering, is, I think someone mentioned it earlier, that you find that when it comes to access to capital for SMEs, or for people that are doing things differently, like Mike, the traditional forms of capital that we have available, which is mainly through the banks, and no offense, Huntington, but they haven't responded to the diverse needs of funding in, for business. So RSSB is launching a $30 million SME fund. First closing is $30 million, but we expect it to grow to $100 million. And it's really going to be Rwanda-focused. We understand that we have to be able to build a pipeline of domestic businesses that are going to propel the country forward. And so we're bringing capital. We're putting our skin in the game. It's one thing for us to invest through the banks and give banks liquidity, but we want to be exposed to the real economy and find businesses, SMEs, maybe like Francoise will hear about that, or, any of you in the room that are either thinking of a business or already have an existing business or know someone back home that is running a business and that just needs patient long-term capital that is ready to walk the journey with them, this Rwanda SME Fund is really for you. We're hoping that we'll get all the regulatory approvals by August, and we should be able to, to then start deploying capital. So we're really excited about that. This is a real opportunity for you to look at how you can have your business get the necessary funding that is needed from something that is different, from commercial bank rates, which we know can be quite high, quite short term. RSSB is a long-term investor, right? So we're not looking to get our money back in 5 years. We're not going to charge you 18%. We might be invested in you. We might come in as an equity player. It's very, very versatile. So please, keep on the lookout for that. We think it's going to be extremely transformational for Rwanda's private sector. We also invested in Virunga. I don't know if you've heard about the $250 million fund that we've invested in with the Qatar Investment Authority. It's Pan-African, so it's not Rwanda-focused, but we have invested in one Rwandan company, and we continue to look for other companies that we can be invested in. Another opportunity that we think would be really exciting for you as the diaspora is a bundled offering that we are providing through a collaboration with Ejo Heza and Sonarwa, where you're able to get life insurance and have it bundled with savings, right? And so if you take any of the bundled offers that we have, you get a life insurance cover, but you also have a portion that goes to your savings. And what we guarantee you is that we will grow your savings to 3.5 times what you put in, because we're very good investors. Area that I want to speak to is not so much investment, but it's for that young Rwandan that is looking to come back home, that's looking for a career. I think RSSB at the moment, sorry Michelle, is one of the most exciting places to work, right? We are building amazing products and services because we work for the Rwandan people, like everyone here, but we have the privilege that most organizations don't have to say that 11 million Rwandans are our clients directly because of a service that we offer. And so we've got great opportunities, for example, in the IT team. We have a digital factory of about 40 to 60 Rwandans that are building products for Rwanda by Rwandans. We're not spending $4 million hiring companies from the US or from Singapore. We have people that are building products in-house that are serving millions of Rwandans. So if you're in the IT space, I don't think there's any organization as exciting as RSSB at the moment. If you're in investment, as I said, we're the largest investor in the country. If you have skills in that space that you want to bring, we're really, really, looking forward to engaging with you and seeing, what you can do to contribute actively back home. But there's so much more that is going on. I'll just really encourage you all to visit the stand outside, get to learn more about how you can invest in the different opportunities that I've talked about, and how we can really, bring home the message that I feel everybody has been saying today, which is, for those of you that haven't made the shift, let's think about moving away from just remittances to active investment in the economy. There is so much that you can do, and you really have to start thinking about how you can actively be part of shaping Rwanda's transformation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for...
You've heard the sectors for investment opportunities have been highlighted. Those who are looking for capital, not debt, RSSB is available. But allow me to say that no country can develop without a private sector. Right. Governments can do a good job. And who is the private sector in this case? Sorry. Private sector is all of you. And the role of the financial system of any country, the breadth and depth of the financial system is what bolsters that private sector to grow. We as the financial sector of Rwanda are more than ready to give you whatever products that you require, whatever services that you require. We are innovating. We are doing all it takes. I think we covered a few products here. We have our booth downstairs. You will see, you can ask about your individual needs and we'll develop products for you. But allow me to say that doing business is also not an easy thing. To create business from scratch to a level that creates employment, pays taxes, as my colleague here said, is not a simple thing. It requires strong mindsets, requires people with the knowledge, requires people who understand technology. In the era we are today, technology plays a big part. I want to invite you to come and speak to Equity Bank. And I know my colleagues in the room, you can also speak to them. We know how to do it better. And let me just give you a snapshot of who Equity Bank is, because you may not know. We are a $15 billion balance sheet bank. We have 5 groups. We have a technology group, we have an insurance group, we have a banking group, we have investment banking services, and the 5th is the foundation. But I'll leave that aside. In Rwanda alone, we manage a balance sheet of 1.4 trillion Rwanda francs. 1.4 trillion Rwanda francs. And in addition to what our colleagues manage in the sector, the issue is not money. Money is available. Let's find out how we can use that money. The issue is not funds. Money in whatever form you want it, whether capital. The banks, the commercial banks don't provide capital. They provide debt. But capital sources are available, RCB being one of them. But there are also other sources of capital that is available, including your own savings. The money you have in the accounts here that is sitting idle in the name of saving, that will never make you rich. Create businesses. Create businesses. Come home, create businesses. We'll fund you. We'll give you the requisite financial assistance, whether it is from services, transactional, or investment, in whatever form. And I know majority of the banks in the room, we provide funding up to even 20 years for different things in Rwanda currently. Interest rates can be dealt with. It's not like the US. And I will be political about this, because interest is determined by the level of risk each business has. But I want to believe that we have de-risked most of the risks in Rwanda. So interest rates are coming down. You should be able to get interest rates that are commensurate to the margins you're making on each of those businesses. I want to invite you, thank you. I want to invite you, those who are scared, take the step. Equity Bank, about only 13 years ago, was a thought. It's now the 2nd largest bank in Rwanda. It's doable. We can do it. I was speaking to some of the diaspora colleagues last evening. Can we create a diaspora bank in Rwanda? If Equity has done it in 13 years and we pay dividends today of $20 million a year, how can we not make our savings together and create a bank of our own self? Or even invest in the factories. There are opportunities. Michelle has talked about them. I don't want to waste your time, but we know how to do this. We can guide you. You come and we work together, and we create the businesses, create the jobs, and see our country prosper. Yes. I offer myself to be your consultant for free.
Thank you, Huntington. Appreciate it.
I mastered how to roast Rwandan coffee, so that was my strongest area of capability, to be exact. So to do that one single origin, when there is so many other good coffee, you have to be, it's a very big risk, but there are so many ways to go around it. One was to diverse how we process coffee in Rwanda. Now in Rwanda, we are capable to do very good coffee you can get on the world market. We are very good. Rwandan washed processed coffee is the best washed coffee you can get on the global market. And we have to explore with other processes like natural processed coffee, honey processes. So you have to diverse that single origin you do to be excellent.
In a few minutes, we save life of a mother and a baby. So 75% of blood is distributed by drones in Rwanda. Fast forward, that was 2016. Fast forward, we have expanded in 5 countries in Africa, Japan, Eastern Europe, and now, with the good news, here we are in Dallas. So Zipline launched in Dallas. That same company from Rwanda with investment from RSSB, we launched here 20 minutes from here in a place called Mesquite in Texas. We have 6 clients. We are doing home delivery using drone for Walmart, Starbucks, Sweet Greens.
Amazing. Awesome.
Mayo clinics, and you name them. So now, since we are in the setting of the diaspora, there are 2 opportunities. One, we will open up for investment soon, and this can quickly become a 100 billion company. So watch the space when we open up, be the first to invest. But most importantly, for the students, we are hiring engineers in our different locations in the United States and in Rwanda. So we have a lot of Rwandese studying here, mechanical engineering, electrical, etc. So we will put a word for you to be the first to be considered for the next wave of hiring. Thank you.
Awesome. They say learning is the beginning of actually getting wherever you want. So when it comes to investing in Rwanda, I believe every Rwandan here wishes to invest in Rwanda. But to me, sometimes I feel like there is just a missing link. The information gap. What is missing? We have the capacity, we have the funds, we have the will, but what is missing? So it's the conversation is like this, that we always need. Don't wait for the Rwanda Convention. Don't wait for Rwanda Days. We need RSSB, we need Equity Bank, we need all of you. Find the opportunities, create an investment or information hub whereby diaspora can tap in on a daily basis. Don't wait for the conventions, because they come once a year. That is not enough. So I know time is not enough, so yes. I'll cut it short. But in my area of what I do, I'm actually a crusader in financial literacy and investment. That is what I do. I found an issue, or I found a problem in our communities here, whereby we are lacking knowledge. And I was like, when we go to school, we need to find a solution to the problems we have. So that is why I became an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Emil. I was part of the diaspora here for a good 10 years and went home, and I have no regrets about that. And I invite you all to give Rwanda a good hard thought, and hopefully also join me back there. You'll never look back. I work right now for NCBA, which is one of the younger but fastest growing banks in the country. We are about 4 million customers in our digital bank, which is the biggest digital bank in Rwanda, called Mocash. And we provide the full range of business services. As our chairman, Huntington, said, there is money in Rwanda, there is opportunity in Rwanda, and we're looking forward to serving you all when you come to Rwanda. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just quickly, somebody mentioned, don't wait for Rwanda Day or convention to ask you a question. Just quickly, Bank of Kigali, I'm coming in October to inaugurate a kindergarten school. They just give us a grunt because I asked.
Oh, yeah.
Bank of Kigali Foundation, the Beka Foundation, thank you so much. This is where a diaspora want to contribute at home, and they just talk to somebody who's ready to co-invest. So thank you. My question. So my mission is really to help global and diaspora investors engage confidently and meaningfully with Rwanda's development goal. One of the biggest concerns I hear is around clarity. Where do I start? Who do I trust? And how do I navigate partnership? What concrete steps are being taken to build investor confidence through, 1, greater transparency, updated information, that's really, really a challenge, streamlined access to screened opportunities, and stronger local partnerships, especially in the value-added sectors like agro-processing. We know Africa is the only continent in the world does not have to import pretty much anything, but yet we lack we lose everything in the processing area. And the other area beside agro-processing, which is really, really, really critical, and the most probably important areas of investment in Africa and Rwanda. The next one is health and green energy. So those are my questions. If I can get answer, I would be happy to.
Those were like
bridge the
5
gap.
in 1, I think.
Ooh,
Okay.
hopefully just to answer one.
It's
Thank
okay,
you.
it's okay. Let's go.
I think the question there was around clarity, if I'm not mistaken, and where do you start and who do you trust, basically. And I want to tell you, to invite you to RDB as your first point of entry, right? We're the Rwanda Development Board, and our mandate is to make sure that our private sector, our investors, anybody who wants to start a business knows exactly what the process is like and has a trusted partner. That's really our currency, trust. Now, it is true that there's feedback that there hasn't always been clarity as to what to do, where to start. Good news is we are revamping our website, really RDB 2.0, where you're going to be able to find all the information, all the clear steps that you need, but also be able to register your business online seamlessly. There's a few hiccups currently, but we're correcting that. And when you come to Rwanda and you come to RDB, all the services are centered in RDB at the one-stop center. You're able to register, and should that not be possible, they'll always direct you to the 8th floor, which is where the investment department works from, and we will walk hand in hand with you and help you, understand what the processes are. We facilitate meetings with different ministries, and we make sure that truly your journey as an investor or as a business owner is very seamless. And so we're your trusted partner, we're your first point of entry, and we hope that we take the feedback. And we're going to make sure that it's clear. There's clarity in the process.
Awesome.
Bimwe gusa financing imishinga muri agriculture, manufacturing and export, energy, green financing and so forth. Ariko by'umwihariko education. Mfite amahirwe yuko ndi hamwe na ministry wanjye, ministry w'uburezi. Ibi byo mvuga ntago ari Byabereye. Hari benshi babyitiranya, iyi ni gahunda ya leta. Uko turi Beride kuva itangiye inshingano zo gutanga burusi nk'ukuboko kwa leta, hamaze gutangwa miliyari z'amanyarwanda zijya kuri miliyari 470. Izo zose abigiye mu Rwanda, abigiye hanze. Icya kabiri by'umwihariko muri izo 470 harimo miliyari 49 zishyurwa abanyeshuri baje kwiga muri Amerika, mu Bwongereza, mu Bufaransa, kugira ngo duhahe ubumenyi tujye kubaka igihugu cyacu. Ese ko twahawe aya mahirwe, twe ntitwafasha abandi bana b'Abanyarwanda. Biragaragara yuko imbaraga zacu tuzishyize hamwe twese twakubaka u Rwanda, ariko by'umwihariko banyakuba mwigiye ku nguzanyo muteraniye hano, baba abigiye mu Rwanda, baba bize hano, turasabwa kugira ngo tujye gute twishyure. Bikorwa gute? Twishyura ngahe? Ndagira ngo ntango by'umwihariko ku bantu bigiye hanze, abo twita abroad students, 80% y'amafaranga wishyuriwe ni government subsidy, ni grant leta yaguhaye. Urasabwa kwishyura 20% gusa.
Is the youth panel. I see a lot of the youth filling up this room. Thank you for coming. So the panel is called Youth, the Anchor for the Future, Knowledge and Skills Transfer.
Here. My name is Pauline Makoma. I am the Youth Commissioner in the state of Utah. And for the past 2 years, we organize events to get the youth together. So this is quite an exciting opportunity for me to be here and hosting this panel. As Amanda mentioned, our panel is Youth, the Anchor for the Future, Knowledge and Skills Transfers. It aims to mobilize Rwandan youth in the U.S., many who have built successful careers in top institutions, to reconnect with Rwanda and explore how their skills and experiences can support national development. All right, allow me to introduce our panelists. Please help me in welcoming them to the stage. First, we have Honorable Joseph Sengimana. He serves as the Minister of Education, where he leads national efforts to strengthen the country's education system and equip young people with skills needed for a competitive global economy. Welcome. Next up, it is an honor to introduce Dr. Margit Enzain, who serves as the president of the American University in Bulgaria. She previously led the American University in Nigeria for 8 years, where she was recognized for her leadership in education and development. Welcome. Dr. Enzain is also a longtime friend of Rwanda, and she has extensively written about the country's remarkable progress and continues to advocate for education and a catalyst for positive change. Welcome, thank you for being with us. Next up, we have Captain Eliad Mwiza. She's a distinguished helicopter pilot in the Rwandan Air Force. She's recognized for graduating among the top of her class from Akagera Aviation Training School, where she earned Best Czech Ride Performer. She has served on multiple deployments within the United Nations mission in South Sudan, contributing to peacekeeping operations as a co-pilot. Currently serving as captain, she is committed to mentoring the next generation of Rwandan youth, exemplifying discipline, innovation, and dedication to our country. Please help me welcome Captain Eliad. Last but not least, it is also an honor to introduce Gael Karomba, who is a Rwandan-American serial entrepreneur and investor advancing Rwanda's creative, sports, and tourism sectors. He founded Happy Haven, a mental health organization in the United States, and is active in real estate. In Rwanda, he founded Kigali Universe, a premier sports and entertainment complex. He invested in UGB, a professional basketball team in the top league, and launched 155 AM, a musical label and studio. Gael is passionate about entrepreneurship, sports, and also bridging diaspora opportunities with Rwanda's development. Welcome, Gael.
Today, I'm happy to report that any Rwandan kid who desires to go to school can go to school. And that is a big achievement if you compare to the pre-1994. The second part is that there was elimination of the tuition. So you go to school right now for primary and secondary, you actually don't pay tuition. There are some contributions that the parents make, but the actual tuition that goes to paying teachers and building schools, that comes from the government. And so that was to really facilitate that effort to make sure that there is complete access. And the second part is we now have the school feeding program. This was also another effort by the government to increase access to education and to encourage all kids to come to school. And I'm actually very glad that this community has contributed, have taken part to the Sangire Lunch, which is a great program. And so I encourage you all to remain committed to that program because it's actually making a big difference back home. Advantage of the broad expertise that exists within the diaspora, we are actually working on a system, a platform, that is going to allow you to see the needs that are there in Rwanda, and then you'll be able to self-match, meaning that you will see what's needed, and if that fits within your interest and your skills, you can actually raise your hand and we'll connect you to that specific needs. And this is going to work also on the other side as well. So you don't have to actually wait for a need to be posted there. You can, yourself can say, I have this set of skills, I'm interested in doing X and Y, and this is what I would bring, this is the time frame that I'm looking at, this is how much time so we want to be able, the platform has to facilitate both sides, coming from the need, but also coming from the offer. So that's the system we're working on. And actually, if there are volunteers who would be interested in helping us build that system, please, let me know. I'm looking for those people.
Why? Because education, in my view, is not just knowledge, it's not just experience, it's learning how to solve problems and having the confidence that you can do it and the courage to take them on. So I guess the two lessons I have learned from my many years as a university president is make sure young people have the knowledge and skills and the confidence needed now for the world we live in, which is very different, which is about solving enormous problems, and help them become innovators and entrepreneurs and fund them to solve some of these strategic challenges that you have. So thank you for the question.
What inspired me was that I always loved to look up to the brave men and women who liberated our country and have fought for it. And at a young age, I always ask myself, like, what would I do to serve my country? What can I do for my country? Then from there, I was like, I think I should join the other brave men and women who joined the liberation journey and liberated our country. Then from there, I was like, but that's obvious. But what can I do that is unique? Then I said, why not be a pilot? Then that's when I decided I will be a pilot, not only a pilot in the civil companies, but in the army. So that's what motivated me, and that's what made me choose this career. And about the challenges, as it was not, as the piloting is not a farm for many women, it was really challenging. I used to doubt myself, others used to doubt me, but I was like, if I do this and if I succeed, the success will not only be for me, but for other young women and men who are asking themselves, what's the dream? Is my dream going to come true?
That. As every good entrepreneur, I saw two things. I saw a gap and I saw an opportunity. So there was really a great gap in Rwanda, not only in Rwanda, but in East Africa, when it comes to the creative industry, the sport industry. There is no investors into those sectors. So there was that need. And another thing is, it's the opportunity that I saw. Actually, let me first lay this foundation for a lot of young people, brothers and sisters who are here. There has never been a better time than being an African creative than today. This is the best time. And I'll tell you why. From usually in the past, the Western world used to consume our art, to consume our songs and everything and our sports, but we're never recognized. But today, for the first time, when you see the Davidos, the Burna Boys filling up stadiums all over Europe, also here in America, when you sing from the Tyler to Terms, topping charts everywhere, when you see the Trevor Noah, they're being called to host the Grammys. Now, African designers, African filmmakers are winning global awards. This is our time. This has never happened before. But right now, they are not only consuming our art, they are also recognizing it. And Rwanda, to me, is the best country right now that's positioned to really receive most of those benefits, and I will tell you why. You might say that I'm biased because I'm Rwandese, but I'm biased because I have facts. So right now, I think with the great leadership we have, our policy, we have, I think, the top infrastructures of sports and entertainment in Africa. From BK Arena to Amahoro Stadium. So those are things that really puts us in a position to really be on that global stage. But not only that, in terms of infrastructures, Rwanda has become a hub of events, from hosting Trace Awards, like those global awards, to hosting the most prestigious basketball leagues like BAL. We were also in the discussion to host the Grammys. And I think also we are hosting very soon the Cycling World Cup this year. And we also had some in the conversation. Maybe I'm not informed of hosting Formula One. No? No? So I always tell young people, even though Rwanda might be considered small, we are small, but we have a big vision. So, and that really puts us and puts our local talents on this spotlight that can really put them on those global stages. So those are the things that we really have that are going for us. But there are still some gaps. And that's why right now we're addressing the diaspora. The gaps we still have, the number one challenge right now is the mindset. You know, investors, some of our elders here, parents, you still think that sports and music cannot be a career. Ibintu by'imiziki ni byo ku cyumweru sha. Uraririmba sha ariko ujye wiga. You know, because that's the mindset we have. You know, and even for some, and it's sad, but even for some policymakers, they still think that entertainment cannot really be a driver for the economy. But that's not true. Because right now, when actually you do some research, you realize that the entertainment industry of Nigeria contributes $300 million every year to the GDP of that country. And that number grows 13% every year. When you see just a small example that happened, actually, I think a couple months ago, Chris Brown, he went to perform in South Africa. They paid him around $2 million. For some people, you'd be like, no, $2 million for someone to come perform? So for some people, can't even understand. But right now, it's documented. While he was there, that week, the economy of Johannesburg, they did make more. Actually, they say some research they say was about 40 million, but just go on the lower side. They said between 20 to 30 million dollars. The economy, just one person being in one city for 1 week, thousands of jobs were created. More than 100,000 tourists came from all over the world just to come and see him perform. So can you imagine one day a Rwandese musician or an athlete being our national pride like that? Because this is this is the difference between the entertainment industry and other sectors. Because it doesn't only have the potential to drive the economy, the tourism, but also it has this potential to build national pride and global presence. You know, you might own a lot of real estates in Kigali, but you will never be invited on a global stage here in America and come up the stage with the flag of Rwanda. But a musician or an athlete can be the best in the world and be invited here, and they will just wrap him in the Rwandan flag. So I think the gaps we still have, the mindsets, the technology right now, we still have a problem with digital monetization. We don't have IP laws in Rwanda. Actually, I was sitting with a great lawyer, but please help us. We don't have IP laws. IP laws, we don't know what IP means intellectual property laws. We are still struggling in Rwanda. We don't have CMOs, those collection agencies. And it's a big problem because we invest a lot in doing one song. So sometimes you just see a video of 3 minutes and you think that's it. There is a lot that goes behind that 3-minute video. Sometimes, you know, it's thousands of dollars. But we just put it out there. Someone watches on YouTube, and maybe we collect some royalties here and there on DSPs, but then bars, restaurants, and radio stations, TV stations, they play it for free. That doesn't happen here. That doesn't happen anywhere. That doesn't even happen in Kenya or in Nigeria. So we still have that. We still have those gaps. But I think the youth here in the diaspora have the knowledge. Actually, what we need the most, the technology to come and build those systems. And you know you have connections. You can be a bridge. So there is still a lot to do, and there is great potential. And I think our time is now.
We do two things. We give capital, but also we give guarantee for the same project. So we encourage you, diaspora youth and women, to come to Rwanda. As long as you present your project, which is viable, the funds are available as you can, enough, the one you want. Secondly, it's not about only youth. Like I said, we finance manufacturing, export promotion, green. We've actually, we came up with a fund that is specifically supposed to provide the guarantee for whoever wants to do business in Rwanda. The first guarantee is your business, when it's viable, but also we can give you guarantee for your business. So especially youth and women, they're having a challenge of having collateral. So I can promise diaspora community, forget about the challenge of having no collateral. You are covered 100%. You are just required to come to Rwanda. Thank you so much.
So many students from Rwanda, and they were funded at a great level. My question is to the Minister of Education. What gaps can educators in diaspora come to bridge in Rwanda right now? And what opportunities are there for investments in education?
We have a number of private schools that are in primary sector, like at the primary schools, but we don't have enough low-cost private schools. Let me explain. We have public schools and government-aided schools. Then we have high-end private schools. So that 10,000, 20,000 USD per quarter. But there is a huge opportunity in between the two, where you can have schools that are affordable and still make a profit. So I think we're looking to really attract investors who are in education, who would want to establish schools in that space. And if you look at the affordability of the schools, and also the means that people have, especially young professionals, I think there is a huge opportunity, something you should look into. We will be working with RDB to put together a paper on this opportunity. And we are open to actually have conversation and create a package that will be suitable for those kind of investors. So if you yourself are interested, or if you know people who are interested, please tell them about this opportunity. Thank you.
Ariko ngera ahantu where I got basically stuck due to lack of connections or tubazo duke kubera lack of connections. To be quite honest, sometimes I don't even know where to start. It could be a little bit frustrating, and also to where I'm now looking, you know, like I didn't know what I was talking about when I was fighting for them to bring it to Rwanda. So we're now having meetings like, should we have went to Mexico? So
yeah, I wanted to take the opportunity to respond to your question. I feel I needed to react to it. And maybe this is the time where lack meets opportunity. And the reason I say that is because your venture actually falls under what we call the GBS initiative, which is the Global Business Initiative. And this is under the business process outsourcing opportunity that we've identified. It's a new sector. It's been growing over the last couple of years in Rwanda. We have about 3,500 employed young talent. And so I think that's one of the, sports marketing is one of the areas. So I just first want to congratulate you for making the case to your company. And you've made the first step. I think the hardest part was to convince your board, I'm assuming. So you've done that part. Let us do our part in supporting you and making sure that that happens. Pleasure to have connection. I mean, you have a connection right now, but we'll make sure that we understand, what you're requiring in terms of documentation to make that happen for you. And thank you again. I really, really want to commend your efforts in doing that. Yes.
I think we get to experience firsthand the connection part of, this is part of why we come here to connect and give back. Thank you very much.
So just one last brief comment to Rwandans in the diaspora. You should be extraordinarily proud of what your country has accomplished in 31 years. I first visited your country in 1998, and it was unimaginable then to think that in a few short decades, the great leaders of your country, the one I met then and the ones who are here now, would have led to the following information that the Minister of Foreign Affairs shared. Life expectancy has doubled. You lead in gender equity, more women in parliament than any country in the world. Health care for all, universal primary education, and more. These accomplishments are extraordinary, and most people don't know. I'm sorry, most Americans think Africa is a country, right? So I say to you, don't just counter the disinformation. There's lots of ways to do that. We're using AI out in Eastern Europe to counter the Russian disinformation. Tell the story. All of you, the creative people, the educators, the diaspora, 22 states, 31 communities, take on a topic. Take on a topic and tell the story there, because what's happened in Rwanda in 31 years is miraculous, and it's because of visionary leaders like those here and President Kagame. Celebrate your country.
I love